Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be an analysis of some of the more popular futures markets out there for day traders. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a quick clarification. I'll be using the 1 hour time frame. So for those of you that are beginners, what that means is each one of these candlesticks here represents 1 hour's worth of price action. So starting off, let's take a look at the NQ. And as a reminder, even if you just trade the MNQ, what I talk about here could be applied to the MNQ since they mirror one another. But overall today, very, very big breakout. Finally got up to this red line here at the 955 mark, which you can see there was a problem. And going all the way back there was a problem. So it's been a long time, as you're seeing here, since the price has been up above that area, but it's finally occurred. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines as they serve their purpose for now, and I don't want to risk causing confusion because there's lines and clutter everywhere. So let's try to keep this as clean as possible. So the first big update that comes about is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. So going into the next session, if there is any sort of pullback, no such thing as a guarantee. But would you be irrational to maybe build a trade plan around that 955 mark? You would not be irrational. That doesn't mean that it's going to work out, but there's a lot of logic that goes behind that area. So keep that in view as a potential area of support on any sort of pullback. Then of course you have the 50 period moving average right there, which the price has been done a good job of respecting. So keep it on that too. Keyword there being moving. So as time goes by, that line will move itself higher and higher in the coming sessions and get more and more relevant. But in my opinion, at least, definitely the most interesting dynamic from a support standpoint is all about that 955 mark. And then in terms of areas of resistance, I'm going to go ahead and change to the 4 hour time frame. So 4 hour now means that each one of these candlesticks represents 4 hours worth of time. And that is so we can come down here. Oh, did it really break up through there? I thought it was. Let's see. Are we up above those highs too? Okay, currently doing battle. So right up here at the 22,092 area, you can see right back here, presented problems. And as right now is presenting a problem, although the price has gotten up through there. So the price is currently doing battle with this high. And if it can push up through there, as we're seeing, that would be putting it at levels that have not been seen for a while. And you can see even back here that journal area was presenting problems. But if the price does push up through that level, next key overarching area of resistance to then keep an eye on would be up there at the 22,392 mark. So all in all, though, very, very impressive movement. And now it's just a question of, as it enters into this phase of the chart, is this going to allow for more momentum? Is the price going to start to drift its way up there? We'll see what happens with it, but it certainly set itself up for a very interesting next session. Next one here, taking a look at the ES, and like the NQ, ES had a very, very impressive day too, blasting through both of these areas of resistance that I talked about. So once again, from a house cleaning standpoint, let's just get rid of those lines down there as they serve their purpose for now. And yeah, I'm going to get rid of that level too, I was wondering. But first update, as I just did on the NQ, when levels of resistance are broken, they can tend to act as support. So if you're looking to play a pullback, so if the price were to pull back right here and do something like that, from a pattern standpoint, you'd basically have a nice pattern like that. And I just noticed I'm on the 30-minute time frame. So I've been wanting to do the hourly. So let's just go to the hourly real quick. Oh, that'll be fine to see kind of what the 30-minute look like. So same general idea here. Nothing has changed. If there is a pullback to that level right there, then from a pattern standpoint, as you just saw on the 30-minute, it exists. And on the hourly, it would also exist. Because if it comes down there, that means you have a bit of a pullback channel. And then when you can do that, you'd have basically a little miniature bull flag pattern if it were to pull back to 6120. I'm not saying it will, but if it does, then I wouldn't say that that's necessarily anything totally, bearish to freak out about. The only thing that I would start to get nervous is if somehow the price drops all the way down to that purple line there and then breaks down through there. I don't necessarily see that happening in the next session. I suppose you never know. Things can get crazy. It is the futures, but there does seem to be a lot of power behind this move. So it would take the bears quite a bit to be able to push down and kind of break this current momentum that I'm seeing right now, especially on the good solid volume. In terms of next potential areas of resistance, let's again go to the 4 hour time frame, and the next key battleground to watch in the next session going to be right up there at the 61, let's just call it 50. So 6150, next main battleground here moving forward. After 6150, maybe a little bit of a potential problem up around the 61, 63 mark. So we'll just call that a little area of a resistance zone right here. But there's no doubt about it. Got the breakout. All this is occurring on quality volume. So we'll see if the momentum carries into the next session. Next one here, taking a look at the YM for the Dow Jones. And this one's a little different than the other ones. We have ourselves a candle here that is suggesting maybe a pullback needs to show up. So if a pullback does indeed arise, the area that I'm very curious about, and that could be a nice little pullback point right there around the 44,705 mark. So 44,705, this was previously here. You can see just kind of an overall clump of resistance, but when those resistances are broken, as you've heard me say, they can tend to act as support. So would it be, is it guaranteed? No, but would it be shocking to people if the price came down here, did something like this, and then bounced back upwards? No, that would just be a classic back test of the breakout point. So, kind of a back test and go type situation. So keep an eye on that if the price does pull back. And once again, let's go to the 4-hour time frame to figure out where next potential areas of resistance are. And in the nearer term, keep an eye on the 44,970 mark. And then if the price pushes up through there, then yeah, you have the 45,233, but one hurdle at a time. But like these other ones, NQ and the ES, all the indices today doing very well with them push upwards. But we'll see if the price on any of these needs to pull back or not. But all in all, you got to feel pretty bullish headed into the final session of the week. We are now moving out of the indices and into the oil market, specifically crude. So taking a look at CL here. And for those of you that watched the previous video, talked about that being an important area of support. So for any of you that watched that video and did actually get short right there, you got paid very nicely as that queued quite a bit more of a sell down. However, on the flip side of things, this trend line here that I pointed out, you can see still presented to be a problem a couple times, even there and there. But then right there, got the breakout through there and a very nice bounce in the upwards direction. So got the breakup through there. I'm going to get rid of these lines here. But now really it's just a question of, yeah, it's bounced very nicely, but is there any sort of genuine power behind this bounce? And what I'm very curious about is, well, let's see if the price can show progress, because no price goes straight up, but truly strong price movements are at least going to show progress, and that is where 70.65 comes into play. And I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down here and then behave like that, what would you have? Well, you would have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make nice moves and then go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. On the flip side of things, though, if the price comes down here, behaves like this, and then curls back upwards, now all of a sudden, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows here, you'd have lows there, and if you envision each of those as stair steps, well, now you have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction, and that's what you want to see. So 70.65 for those reasons, very, very important level of support. If this upwards move continues, main battleground going to be right up here with the Bash Brothers. We have the 200 period moving average, we have the 50 period moving average, and you can see they're both basically right around the same value. So give or take right around that $72 mark, but as mentioned, got to give credit where credit's due. Nice bounce. Is there any sort of genuine power behind this bounce? Well, let's see if the price can start to show some signs of progress. Now moving into precious metals, and specifically gold, GC, and it's looking like gold wants to return potentially up to those highs. But this was an area of resistance during the last video I did here at the 29.36, but you can see the price has broken back up above it. So as that rule states, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support, and that played out very, very nicely here. So broke above it there, and then you can see went right back to acting support there, before getting the nice move upwards. So on that note, if there is any sort of pullback, then yeah, you guessed it, I would keep an eye right around that 29.36 area as an area of support, where the past couple times it's been down there, you've gotten two nice little bounces there. So we'll see if that occurs or not. But if this thing just wants to keep on grinding, then no need to overcomplicate this. You have, what I think is going to be the first potential, part right there where it's going to have to maybe digest some sellers right up there around 29.60. But if it's a high volume break of 29.60, again, no guarantees, but a high volume break of 29.60, I think that gives gold a very, very realistic chance of not only going up to 29.68, which is this previous high right here, but a very real chance of potentially pushing up through there. So all in all, though, very impressive movement, and we'll see if this momentum continues to carry into Friday. So that wraps up the analysis, and hopefully you saw the top banner there. But if you are looking for a new prop firm or to try prop firm tradings, maybe make a switch, I would highly recommend giving Take Profit Trader a try. They're who I use and recommend, and they are open to people pretty much around the world. Unless you see your country on that list, then they would not be open to you. but they offer a lot of flexibility, and they're worth at least checking out. And make sure you use that link, because right now they are giving 50% off their accounts, and if you use that link, that'll ensure you get the 50% off deal. So definitely consider giving Take Profit Trader a try. As far as these videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, hit that like button. And if you're looking to just support the channel in a super free and easy way, well, number one, I guess, would just be to use that link. But number two, hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. So thanks for watching. Take care.